Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We're gonna talk today about a thing called music. It's really, really fun and can teach you a ton about yourself and everything around you. Music. There's nothing quite like it. It's like water in all three of its forms at once: solid, liquid, and gas. Music is something that has solid rules and a structure that you can build with. And by using those rules and structures, you can create truly beautiful, unique pieces of music. At the same time, music is something fluid that's constantly changing. No song, when sung multiple times, will ever sound the same. That's why live music is so interesting, because even the same song, sung hundreds of times by the same person, is slightly different every time, like flowing water. And like a gas, music is something that exists outside the realms of physical sight, something we can hear and feel, but not see. Music is something that everyone can recognize almost from the moment they're born. Even those who have spent no time at all learning about music know what it is and know more about it than they probably realize. When I say the word music, every one of you gets an impression in your head. Maybe it's a favorite song, maybe it's the call of a bird, maybe it's a really annoying ad jingle that's been stuck in your head for weeks. I couldn't say what it is, as it's in your head, not mine. But I am certain that the impression is there, that when I say music, you know what I mean, that you don't need a definition for it. But I'm going to give you one anyway. The Oxford Dictionary defines music as vocal or instrumental sounds, or both, combined in such a way as to produce beauty of form, harmony, and expression of emotion. And if you look at it like that, anything can be heard as music, no matter how harsh or grating the sounds, because not every emotion is pleasant. Some harmonies are very dissonant, and beauty is in the eye, or in this case, ear, of the beholder. So, if anything can be music, and we as people can recognize music almost from birth, how do we get good at it? How do we go from a place of being able to recognize music to a place where we can create it or learn from it, like I mentioned at the top? It turns out, like anything else, that learning music comes down to practice. Only because music is made of a collection of sounds and can be so many different things, you can learn it in so many different ways. I have lots of friends who have learned to work with music in very different ways, and I'd like to share some of their stories with you. My friend Steve started really learning music around 18. Although he'd taken some lessons, he found the most helpful things for him were the chord grids that he'd gotten from a top 100 hit songbook. Chord grids are basically a written down sign of where to put your fingers on a guitar to make a chord. Once he'd learned how to play the chords and go from one into another, Steve had what he calls the building blocks of musical life, which can probably be assembled in more ways than Lego. He learned how to strum them, he learned how to pick them, and with them, he's written a few songs. One of them is this song. So, this is a song that Steve brought to our own Suzanne, who has been studying the rules and structure of music for most of her life. And she was able to arrange his building blocks of sound into this physical form of music, this sheet music. And now anyone who knows the rules of music would be able to play this song by studying this sheet. Pretty cool, huh? I have another friend, Peter, who never studied music. He was, in fact, told by his music teacher to stand in the back and not sing, which I can't even imagine. It was so disheartening that he never tried to learn more about music. He even says that he doesn't know anything about the theory or structure of music. But Peter does understand sound. He studied language and taught English. And with his knowledge on rhyming, rhythm, and meter, Peter has even written a couple of songs sung by our very own spirit choir. And so, with no official musical learning, Peter found a more fluid way to be able to connect and learn from and make music. I remember when I was learning to play the wood flute, I was having my lessons with Wayne, who was teaching me. And in those lessons, Wayne taught me another way, a way most of you are probably familiar with because it's how Suzanne teaches us new songs and hymns. Wayne taught me to play the flute by hearing and repeating. Isn't that right, Wayne?
Yeah, it is, Zach. It was so nice when you came and wanted to play. You were so excited, and so we put the flutes together, and I would play some song sounds, and then you would repeat them, and then I think you got much better.
Thank you.
You want to try it?
Yeah, that sounds great. I happen to have my flute right here.
And I happen to have mine here too. Here. That's great.
It is
Thank
great.
you for doing that with me.
Thank you for doing that with me, Wayne, and thank you for teaching me the flute. It was great. Well, everyone, that's just about all the time we have today. So I want you all to remember that music is everywhere. It can be almost any combination of sounds. And even if you know absolutely nothing about music, you can still appreciate it, learn from it, and indeed make it. So go on and make some music. Thank you for listening.